Hi, ladies and gents. This is Jakarta. I might be biased, but I think it's the best city in the world. Says someone. So that's the Japanese word for Jakarta, Jakarta Togubetsushi. And let's see. So Jakarta is the capital of Indonesia, and it's the largest city. Take that, Singapore, and in Southeast Asia. And it's 10 million people in the area. That's roughly one third of the Houston size. I mean, Jakarta is one third of Houston size, but it's like 10 million, which is more than the population in Houston. So it's very high population density, 37,400 people per square mile, compared to Houston only 3,600. So it's almost like 10 times population density as Houston. And it consists of 86%. The religions over there is 86% Islam and 7.5% Protestant. So they make a distinction between Protestant and Catholics over there. And in Indonesia, you have to specify which religion you are affiliated with in your resident cards. So it will say on the resident cards also what is your religion, and you have to specify that. And recently they just add, it used to be like 5 religions, but recently they add Confucianism as a 6th religion. So, and Confucius, yeah, exactly. So during the Dutch colonization, it was named Batavia. It's from the company, I don't know how to read that. So it's VOC, and it's Batavian Republic during the Dutch. And when the Japanese took over, it's renamed Jakarta Togubetsushi. I like that name better, so I put it there in the title. So, and when Indonesia gained independence in 1945, it's renamed to Jakarta from Jakarta, Tokubetsu. Okay, so you know how New York is the Big Apple of the United States? This is the big durian of Indonesia, because this is the fruit nationality in Jakarta. And regarding transportation, that's how bad it is. Like the congestion is really, really bad. And when I got back to Jakarta, when I visited about a few years ago, I really like everything, right? And I always wonder, hey, this is a good place to move over here. The food's great, and I like the culture and everything. But then after I look at the traffic, never mind, I don't want to live here. It's just like so bad. There's a lot of motorcycles running. There's really no laws at all. Like sometimes people just go straight even when it's red light. So sometimes it's just survival of the fittest over there. Like I always think, like, hey, you can't do that. Every time I was in Jakarta, like, it's okay, it's all good. And they have no insurance, most of the people over there. So if there's accident, you just like, kind of like, bust out your negotiation skill and just like, hey, well, how do you want to do this? You're like, so okay, Jakarta, even though despite all of its glamour, has 220 slum areas in the city. And as you can see over here, there's a lot of slums in the area that illustrate extreme poverty, where it's very dark and damp, and there are no gaps whatsoever for the sun to even shine and kind of lighten the city in that area, in the slum area. And 23% of Jakarta lives in the slums right now. And the worst is in the banks of, I don't know, Ciliwung River, and it's the worst slums area in Indonesia. And the river that's supposed to have 50 meters in width has now only the width is reduced to 8 meter because of garbage disposal that's dumped in the pile. So from 50 meters down to 8 meters because of garbage disposal in the area. So it's really, really bad. So, yeah. And Jakarta right now is in danger of sinking, and most people say that in 2030, Jakarta would be completely submerged underwater if we don't do anything about the situation by 2030. And it's very, very bad. It's sinking up to 15 centimeter per year, according to the new research. So, as you can see, even last month alone, there's a flood that happened last month, and it kills almost 50 or 60 people, and it's really, really bad. So whenever there's heavy rain, it's almost always Jakarta is flooded, almost always. And the healthcare, tap water over there is in Jakarta is very unsafe. So you don't want to ever go to the restaurant, ask for when they ask you what do you want to drink, don't say just water. You have to say bottled water. I want bottled water. Otherwise, they just pour it from the tap, and you don't want that, you know. And before you go to Jakarta, make sure you take some Pepto-Bismol and like seriously, take Pepto-Bismol, and also like typhoid fever and dysentery vaccine to prevent any, and typhoid fever, of course, typhoid fever vaccine. And many drugs, including antibiotics, are sold over the counter. And I heard you can even get to some pharmacy that sells like controlled substances, like tramadol. Over here is a prescription medication, but over there you can get it over the counter. So a lot of people like self-medicate, and even my parents sometimes do that too. Of course, they ask me first, so they ask me for recommendations, so it's half legit. So. All right. And it's not up to par with like neighboring countries like Singapore or Thailand. So Singapore has better healthcare than Jakarta, but we're getting there. And in Indonesia, they're trying to enact a universal health coverage through the national health insurance program, and it's actually doing pretty good, I heard. And many countries around Indonesia are actually applauding Indonesia for trying to do this, you know, on a developing country. So, let's see. Education, it's on the local public school is very poor. Like the standard is pretty poor in Jakarta. And private schools in Indonesia usually offered through international curriculum. So like the IB program, something over here, it's what they usually follow in the international schools in Jakarta. And most international schools in Jakarta, they speak English rather than Indonesian. And if you see over there, and every Monday we have a flag ceremony, and it's very, very, I would say, annoying, because you get to stand there for like 2 hours. I mean, I'm trying to be patriotic, but it's very annoying. Okay, tradition and culture. So over there, it's very like conservative Islamic culture. So any clothing piece that is kind of revealing is frowned upon. So try not to wear any of this above, you know, like short shorts, jean cutoffs, mini skirts, you know, in public areas. And whenever you want to point at something, you want to use your thumb. So like if you want to go that way, you can like point with your index finger, because that's rude. So you have to say like this. And then make sure you remove your shoes or sandals when you're getting inside somebody's house. And then, okay, so this is loss of face. I think Brian has talked to me about this also from like the Middle Eastern culture. Ours is very similar. So it's like Indonesian very much wants to please you. So even if like say you get invited to like a wedding or a celebration, you would probably get yes almost all the time. Like right at the moment, they will say yes, of course I'll make it. But then if they can't really make it, they'll just make up some kind of excuse or way afterwards. Like, but not at that moment. But they're like, oh, I'm sorry, actually there's blah blah blah. Like that. But right at the moment when they ask you, Indonesians will say yes, of course. That's, I'll be there, I'll be there. And sometimes untruthful answer is given, like I say, and when they ask you the first time. So because we are very much wants to please you, like seriously. Oh, hold on. Go back. All right. Okay. All right. So with Indonesian woman also, you don't want to shake her hands. Like whenever you meet Indonesian woman, she has to initiate it. I don't know if this is like a Middle Eastern culture or not, but in Indonesia it's like that. And do not backslap Indonesian. So if you have to slap them, just use your front, but not your back. This is very disrespectful. I don't know why this is. Even like if you have to slap somebody, you have to use your front. Don't use your back, because that's very rude. And this is very weird. Yeah, I know. And okay, so basically in Indonesia also, like of course women and men, if they show like PDA, public display of affection, is very frowned upon. And however, like between male and male, like they can like touching or touchy-feely like between males are more common over there, much more common in Indonesia than over here. So like, not romantically, yeah, like platonically, I guess, yeah. And whenever there's the host and hostess, usually when they invite you, they usually eat and sit last after everybody's been taken care of. And let me see. All right, this is one of my pet peeves also. I usually kind of don't even use that. So do not refuse when they ask you for a food or drink. Do not say I'm good, because that's kind of rude. But if you do eat or drink, don't finish it completely also, because then they'll be like, oh, why are you so greedy, So you have to say yes, but don't finish it. Like leave at least like this much, at least like 10%, You seriously don't finish any food or drinks over there, because it'll just be rude. All right, let's see. All right, this is another one of my favorite tradition. It's called rubber time or jam karet. So in the philosophy in Indonesia, time is very like subjective, and time does not equal money. Like here in America, time equals money, right? Time does not equal money in Indonesia. So they appreciate good relationships and harmony as opposed to actually punctuality and time. So, however, if you are a Westerners, you are expected to be punctual for business meeting. But for Indonesians, they'll be okay. Okay, 30 minutes late is fine usually. So I don't know why they expect this from Westerners though. Whenever they're meeting up, and social events usually start late in Indonesia, and expect Indonesian to arrive 30 minutes later than the given time. Usually we have like a formula for time. Like if you actually want somebody to be there at 9 a.m., you have to tell them that you have to be there at like 8:15 to 8:30, and then they'll be there like around 9 or 9:05 or so. So pretty much plus 40 minutes, 45 minutes from the expected time, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this one is one of the events in Jakarta is Ondel Ondel, which is performed around the villages. Basically, it's not villages. I'm sorry. So basically, it's like the costume that you put on to ward off like evil spirits in Jakarta. This dated back when Jakarta was still under Dutch colony, and this is the culture that they're doing. Like it happens like every year, like annually. And there used to be an image. There used supposed to be an image of Chinese New Year with the lion and dragon dance. And before 2003, they actually prohibited doing any lion dance or dragon dance in Jakarta. But only until 2003 that it was enacted back again. Before that, it was very suppressed. Any Chinese culture activities are not to be allowed at all in Indonesia. But now they're making it like an annual thing to have that, like the Chinese New Year. All right, foods in Jakarta. All right. So on the left is called kerak telur or egg crush, which is this one is a really good omelet. It's really good omelet, and it's made of like glutinous rice and served with serundeng, which is made of fried coconut. It's really good. And the foods in Jakarta is very cheap. It's even cheaper than Singapore. If Austin says food in Singapore is cheap, this is even cheaper in Jakarta. Like you can get out like most of this stuff. It's probably less than $1, except the soto Betawi, the curry one. That's probably around like $2, but everything else probably like less than $1. It's very cheap. Yeah, it's super cheap. Yep. And of course the flavor. I don't think it loses to Singapore in my opinion, because I've been to both cities. So like this one is really good. It's really good. I don't think Austin ever been to Jakarta, so I don't know. Because he said it, right? This one is really good, seriously. And the one on the right, the left right here is the dessert is called Serendang Melayang. It's basically like a shawl of a virgin. So like when like a dance of a girl that's so beautiful, they make it like that. Just like that's why you see all the colors over there is very vibrant. All right, the monuments here in Jakarta. So you can see here is this like the welcome monument is like man and woman pretty much waving at you and saying, "Hi, come over here to our city," and which is very friendly because we aim to please. And the one at the top is basically the Proclamation of Independence monuments. Is when these two people, I don't know if I forgot the name, but it's like the founding father of Indonesia, pretty much. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, no, Soekarno, I think. Okay, so this is, I guess, one of the prayer requests for Jakarta is, even though in Jakarta there's plenty of churches that caters to various denominations and doctrines, but the strong Muslim influence is very strong in Jakarta. And even the first Chinese Indonesian governor in Jakarta was, when he tried to run for re-election in the second term, was actually jailed because somebody made a video that has been edited to show that he's actually blaspheming Islam, and the government actually took the mass side, even knowing that the video has been edited and it's not truthful, but the government still jailed the Indonesian government. I mean the Jakarta government, the first Christian governor in Jakarta. So please pray about that. That the strong Muslim influence is not becoming too extreme, and there's emergence of this Islamic movement that seems to be going more and more extreme by the day in Jakarta. And right now, if you can also pray for the election of the President Jokowi in Indonesia, because Jokowi is the current president right now that's for Christian, but his rival is Prabowo, which is like against Christian. And one of the reasons why our family moved here to United States is because of all of the racism and the violence that's happening in 1998. So just pray for that, for the presidential election. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you.